And good morning.
Good morning, sir. How
Good
are you?
morning. Good. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Military Retirement Blueprint. And for those just joining us for the first time, this is a show where Mike and I get together, catch up on things, talk about stuff
hmm
that's in the ether, so to speak, in our respective areas. We both serve, for
Fun
the
stuff.
most part,
Yeah.
senior retiring military leaders and those that have already transitioned out, within the last few years and are looking to stay and top of mind in the network, want to help back out, want to stay
hmm
connected, might have to look for a new opportunity. And so we talk about all those things that show up around that. Those can be what are somewhat stressful times as you're going through transition, of course.
Just a little bit,
Um,
right? Just a
just a
little
little
bit.
bit. So
Yeah.
since we've had lots of conversations individually over the years with everybody, for them it's their first time, and so we use this as an opportunity to share
Sure.
those lessons learned, right?
Yeah.
But speaking of which, I know you had another cohort last week. How'd that one go? Where was that
Yeah.
at?
No, we wrapped up our October cohort right at the Booz Allen Center for Innovation, which is the
Oh,
Helix
right.
building, up there in Washington D.C. Great event, right? Just really a crown jewel location right downtown. I think we talked a little bit about it last week. A couple of blocks
Oh,
from
right.
the White House, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it was a good event, and we're already starting to put sights on, like you and I were talking earlier this morning, on our end of year cohort, which is December 3rd. Which, as we just discussed, right, it's a little bit of a unique time for Blue Water. We normally are that last kind of week of the month, right? We kind of spread that out throughout the year, but man, it's just strange times, right? As we get to that last quarter, October, November, December, we really only get two windows of opportunity instead of three, right? One per month,
Yeah.
because you got Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays, and it's just hard. And we've tried to stagger that out as best we can a couple of different times. We've tried a few previous years, and we think that you get the end of October and then you get early December, right? It's hard to try to turn real quick and get one right before Thanksgiving. And then it's hard to get one towards the end of the month in December
Yeah.
because of the holidays, right? So we just try to capture it that first week of December. And next year, though, we talked about maybe the month of December, that's where we will place a virtual cohort, right?
Okay.
So we're playing around with some schedule things, all centered around trying to bring more opportunity to our members, right? That's really what it's about, right? So,
Yeah.
and Scott, we opened up our 2026 schedule. Dude, we're taking registrations all the way out to July of next year, right? And
Yeah.
we've got people reaching out who are Naval Academy alumni asking already about next September as well. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, those events do fill. We are full in January. February is full. March, I think we've got a couple of seats open. April is full. May, a couple of seats open, which I'm really excited about our May cohort. That's going to be with Shield AI, their corporate offices there in Alexandria.
Mhm.
And we're really excited. Beautiful spaces, great opportunity to host an event there in the corporate offices of Shield AI, and chance to kind of see that environment, meet a few of the leadership there for our members. So it'll be some good
Yeah.
inroads. We're excited about that.
And it'll be May. You got those beach volleyball courts right outside.
Well, there
Do you
you
remember
go.
that?
Right?
We were looking
Yeah,
at the you guys can go play a little post volleyball.
sure.
No.
So
No,
it's
well,
exciting. We
yeah,
got a
great
lot
to
going
hear.
on.
It's I know it's a blessing or curse with the Blue Water. It's like so many people want to join, but the whole point is to kind of keep it low touch so you can give everybody,
Yeah.
quality insight and time.
No, we
Um,
do work hard to keep the groups small,
right.
but
But
but our
that doesn't mean people can't also still access the Blue Water digital.
They absolutely can, right? I
Right.
mean, they can absolutely go to the Blue Water Digital platform, request access. We'll screen you accordingly. Welcome aboard. You get plugged into the network. All the insight that everybody else takes full advantage of. The only difference being that you're not at an in-person cohort, but don't translate that to mean that you don't have direct access to me or Steve Weeman or any of other mentors, right? Because you
Yeah.
absolutely do, right? You're just scheduling that one-on-one time. So technology has helped us bridge this gap. We record all of our messages, all of our lectures, so everybody can take full advantage of that. And it's not a perfect fit for everybody, but for those individuals that just are never going to be in a position to attend an in-person cohort, but want to take full advantage of everything that Blue Water offers, that is certainly right a viable option for them to plug into us with. So
Yeah. Then that's very
yeah.
generous for
Yeah,
sure.
so
But
we're excited. Yeah, building other methods, right, for members to kind of plug in.
yeah, yeah.
So how have you been,
And
man? Been busy.
yeah, good. Finishing up the software and stuff, but I know you wanted to kind of expound upon what we discussed last week a little bit because obviously a lot's changed already. Now
Well,
apparently is the government open? I'm actually not 100%
I'm
sure
not sure. I've got the news on in the background. I don't know, but
because it's
for
weird.
the
Like,
listeners, yeah, the way I described it, if you're listening in, is we kind of grabbed a hand grenade, right? Weapon of choice of our Army colleagues here, and pulled a pin and just lobbed it in a room and just kind of said, oh, it's the perfect storm. Government shutdown. The technology AI is coming to a head. A lot of jobs are
yeah,
being replaced. We're seeing a lot of companies, a lot of industries going through some sizable layoffs. We talked about that. It's just that time of year into the holidays, finding your next success, things slow down. It was just that perfect storm, right?
sure,
And that's all we talked about. I told Scott, I said, for the listeners out there, I said, wow, we just blew up the room, right? We should probably at least come back and say, okay, how are you going to navigate this? What are some tools to navigating, this, really rough landscape out to a bright and productive outcome, right? And so I figured we'd chat a little bit about that today, right?
yeah,
If that
yeah. Not that, no, for sure, and it's like this was a unique one because it was top of headlines, but
mm-hmm.
a change in individual circumstance is going to hit, at a different time is going to hit just as hard.
Yeah.
So understanding, and that's what retirement and transition out of the military is anyways. It's just, there's a little more lead up to it, less surprise. But that's why we always, harp on, keeping that future mindset of, being curious, staying connected, and increasing your skill sets, so that you can adapt either when there's new opportunity or when something's taken away and you got to go find something. But you don't want to be out in the woods not ready for it, right? So, well, yeah, what were your kind of thoughts? I got something to hit on a
Well,
little bit more, I think, at the end, but would like to get the
yeah.
insights you've been sharing with your members.
No, I mean, if we yesterday was probably one of our more aggressive social media posting days, right? Maybe it was because it was Veterans Day and we had a little bit of time, but we had a lot of information we wanted to get out. And one of the articles I posted was brought to my attention by Miss Jenny Brooks. She's the executive vice president of Booz Allen out in San Diego, and I have not had the pleasure of meeting her personally, but we have connected on social media and have conversed a little bit. Steve Weeman and myself hope to connect with Jenny while we're out in San Diego in January, right? And we look forward to that. But she had posted an article, and it really was the takeaway was how to navigate really these hard times. And the article that she posted was San Diego defense tech startups, funding and movement in the San Diego space, right? And I read the article and I just found it very interesting. And in summary, the way I summarize this is for our members, it seems like doom and gloom. It seems like a lot of companies are laying people off. It seems like, the rise of AI is replacing a lot of roles and responsibilities that is forcing the government shut down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Hence all these layoffs. So members come to us and they go, well, Mike, great. It's a pretty gloomy story. How do I navigate this? And it's really not as hard, right, as what you might think. But I love the phrase, and as I boiled this article down, it's follow the money, right? I mean, follow the money. The money's going to tell you where opportunity's at. And the gist of the article is there are a lot of companies out there that are still being profitable and that are still doing some really great things. And if you take a look at Blue Water Advisors on LinkedIn, and you'll see this article that I posted out there. And yes, it is centric to the San Diego area. But again, the key is what companies are being profitable year over year for the last couple of the years. What companies are growing, right? And these are metrics that are tracked by a number of other companies out there and are easily data mined, right? Mm-hmm. From the social media environment. And you're going to say, yeah, great, Mike. Why do I care what company's being profitable? Like what? Well, because companies that are profitable, still growing and scaling, need people and talent to do that. Okay. And therein lies your leading indicator to the companies that you might find intriguing, that may be a good fit for you, but that there's opportunity still there. In other words, the company is looking. So it is a way to narrow down your market analysis, that to help you pursue something where there is opportunity. Conversely, if you look at the headlines, like what Amazon announced, hey, we're letting somewhere between 14,000 and 30,000 employees go. Even our partners at Booz Allen, they just let go, I think it was 600 or 800 personnel, 2 to 3% of their workforce, right? For a company that's, around 30 some odd thousand individuals, right? So these are sizable layoffs, and a lot of the leadership are looking now for their next success. But when you do your homework like this, I go, okay, this company is still growing, like Anduril, Shield AI, some of the other companies that were listed in the article out here. Let me just scroll through it here CSATs, which is a maritime startup, technology company that develops autonomous surface vehicles, right? It's a 36-person startup. They're well-funded. They've already got contracts with the US Navy in place. You can go to, my mind is a blank here. Government contracting websites, GovWin, GovTribe. You can go to it's SPDS, I believe is what it is. And you can check the status of government awards for companies. And the reason that this homework is valuable is if you just identified a company that's received a $36 million contract to develop some concept into reality, man, I can promise you they're going to need people to help move the needle on that, right? Yeah. Those are great, identifications for opportunities. Now, you still have to do your homework. Is this a good fit for you? Does it align with your career progression design? In other words, the important things to our members as they step into their next phase of your life, you still have to ask yourself these basic questions. But if it aligns and if it looks like it's a good fit and you want to target it, there is great opportunity. You know they're already in receipt of money. You know they're looking for talent. Now it's a matter of targeting and networking your way into there accordingly. And many of these companies listed in this article, we have relationships with. Right. And that's the beauty of Blue Water. We don't just throw away our network, we maintain it, we secure it for current members and future members to come aboard to plug into. So, yes, is it a doom and gloom? Is it a little bit of a, perfect storm? This too shall pass, but is that going on? Yes. How do you navigate it? Well, you do your market analysis. What companies are profitable? What companies are receiving contracts? What companies are growing and scaling? And that information is mineable, right? You can go out and see that. And then once you understand that, now you plug into the network and build your networking bridge to a company who is ultimately looking for you, right?
Yeah.
And that's really, the rules of the road haven't changed. That's the same methodology, even if you're not going through hard times. You still want to go through those steps. But just to reinforce the listeners and members out there, yes, these are some lean times. Yes, they are challenging, but this isn't time to wipe the board clean and go, okay, new strategy, new steps in the process. No. It's stick with the process, double down on it, if anything, right? Get into this. And it's the market analysis place. Instead of looking at companies where there is no opportunity, the only difference is you're narrowing your sight picture down to, okay, I know these companies are growing. These companies have funding. These companies are profitable. They're continuing to weather the storm in their own way. Now, let me go and look for opportunity at those companies, right? Does that make sense? I mean, I know that's a lot.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, it makes a lot of sense,
so.
Right. So in my world, of course, when there's uncertain times, we always say, the money moves. Like, where's the smart money going? There's smart. The joke is there's smart money and dumb money. And dumb money doesn't mean that people are stupid. It just means they're not active. So think about everything in an index fund or a 401k.
Mm-hmm.
They're being managed by, levels upon levels of, do you really know what you're invested in? And that's the whole point of diversification, because nobody really knows. But the Warren Buffett type investors, the ones that they say, oh, go be like that guy, which nobody does because they can't put in the time and the knowledge and the wisdom of, having experience doing that market research, of course.
Right.
But that's all he's doing is he's just saying, where's the smart money going? Right.
Yeah. And it makes all the sense in the world, right? Yeah. I mean, conversely, sometimes members will come to us, Scott, and what would be an example? And not to pick on any company, but they're in the not so distant past, right? I mean, I would even lump Boeing into a company that was going through some hard times. And when that company was struggling, people came to us and they go, hey, I'm really interested in going to work for Boeing. I'm like, hey, if you look hard at that company, like I think that company's on a hiring freeze, right? I mean, I don't even think they're hiring anybody right now. Yeah. They're tightening their belt. They're dealing with some other bigger issues right now. And the reason that is important is because we do track how long it takes members to find their next success, right? They come to us, they narrow down their market analysis, start the stopwatch. Okay, from that point in time to what you're pursuing, you have it in your sights. How long does it take you to get a signed offer letter? And we know on average, it's about 129 days.
Yeah. I think
it's about 9 days, right? But if you're going to come to us in this example months ago and say, I want to go to work for Boeing, I'm not sure the metrics, right? I'm not sure the analytics are applicable because there's some unique challenges to what you're going after, right?
Yeah. And so I think the opportunity is, with money moving,
Yeah.
then that also means, that's why new startups are happy, new innovation. It's not just ChatGPT, right? It's happening in all different
Yes.
industries. And so that's just creating major shakeups. Like, I'm sure there was a time when everybody wanted to go work at IBM. IBM's still around, but
Yeah.
it's not what it once was. So are Boeing and Lockheed going to go away? Probably not. But they're so huge, their chances of doing things like hiring freezes or mass layoffs are bigger. But with your methodology, doing that research kind of from an investor's perspective, being like,
Exactly.
hey, where's the money going? Who's
Where's the
getting new
money going?
investment? Who's getting series
Havoc
A, B rounds, right?
Havoc AI is another one. General Atomics out in San Diego, right, with all the unmanned and drone advancements. Even Booz
Yeah.
Allen, even though they've tightened their belt a little bit, they continue to partner wisely. Companies like Palantir, right? And if you look at the company we've already talked about, Shield AI, right, already has funding aligned with Naval Special Warfare Command, right? Where, they are now going forward with work. So there's money there. It's been awarded. Government's opening back up. Those funding lines are going to start to move. Companies are going to get out and get after this, right? So understanding, to your point, right? Smart money, dumb money. Smart money in companies that are continue to grow, scale. Well, they can't do any of that, Scott, without talented people. And the Blue Water
Yeah.
membership like I do, right? We are rich in talented people. These are, the individuals that these companies are looking to draw in to turn their vision of success into reality. And it's going to be our members that are going to play a part of that, right? We just need to do their market analysis and target, wisely, I guess, out there, right? If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Maybe that's a good question to ask when you're in these networking calls or even, exploratory calls with companies is, how is this company or what have you seen out there, and how companies are
Yeah.
adapting to the changes going on right now? And maybe somebody says something like, hey, you know what? This firm just bought a big stake in that firm, and I know they're hiring because of that, So it's like, oh, well, who do you know over there? But no, I
Yeah.
thought that was
This
great
article,
insight, Mike.
tell everybody to, I'm going to tell everybody to kind of pull it up. And the name of the article, if you just go to the Blue Water Advisors feed or my feed, and again, it's an article written on San Diego defense tech startups, land government contracts funding, and that type of activity in the San Diego area. Saronic, Shield AI, Firestorm, CSATs, they're leading the defense boom in San Diego. Yeah, thanks for pulling it up. That's it. And now everybody, for the listeners out there, they go, yeah, Mike, great. I live in the DC area, or, I'm in, I don't know, Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
Listen,
This is happening everywhere, right?
it's happening everywhere. You just have to dial in, right? And do your market analysis, do your homework. Many of the companies listed here, as well as I do, Scott. Yeah, they may have a footprint and doing some hands-on work out in the San Diego area, but every single one of those startups has business development footprint in Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
or other areas, right? They're partnered with other companies. That's what makes them successful, right? And they're going to need people to engage on their behalf in a lot of different efforts. So, but yeah, you can absolutely do this type of homework in any area you want. And, AI is not the answer to everything in the world for us, right? Uh, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. I just want to say it for the members listening in and for you too. Did you see that OpenAI has now offered 1 year free of their whatever it is, premium paid
I
service?
saw you
There it
had
is
an
right there.
article for that as well.
Yeah. And that was brought to
Ah,
our attention by a couple of our members, Denver Dill, who is a member who has requested access. Denver brought it to our attention, right, as he's going through a lot of the content on Blue Water Digital, getting ready to plug in with Steve Weeman and myself. And then Brian Herdlick also mentioned it. But I thought this was really interesting. That's a generous gift, right, from the company OpenAI as they offer this up to transition veterans, right, entering civilian workforce. And the point I was going to make is it's not going to solve all your problems, but for what we're talking about today, if you were to do nothing other than enter a prompt into ChatGPT and say, what are the top 10 growing, scaling, most profitable companies in the defense industry in the DC area, right? In other words, use the tool to help you identify who's growing, who's profitable, right? Tracking government contracts, where's the money going, and hit enter. I'll guarantee you, I've not done that, but I will guarantee you will get a short list back that is probably actionable, right? To a certain degree. It's going to give you a list of companies and you're going to go, wow, okay, this is a really good start. And then you could drill down into each one of those.
Right.
And understand, is this where the money's going? Is growth, is scale happening in these areas? If it is, then I'll guarantee you there's opportunity for members to pursue there, right?
Yeah, and with the paid version, there's the deep research function, and there's other AI tools that even if it's not ChatGPT, there's probably ways to do it for free, and that's great that they're doing stuff for veterans. And again, it's a word calculator, right? So as long as you're not abusing it and using it to like you would an assistant, if you had a help me transition out of the military assistant, what would you have them do?
Absolutely.
Research, look for jobs for. Actually, why don't more people do that? Get a virtual assistant, some military spouse.
A
couple hours a week.
Yeah.
And have them help organize their job search. I'm surprised. I mean, well, probably people don't know about that as an option, but that's what a virtual assistant does. And so, to replace it a lot of them in some ways. And so
I'll tell you, and
think about it that way.
Yeah. And this technology, there's probably some things that I wouldn't probably look to it to help bridge, but this type of research work, this is a perfect task for this technology, right?
Yeah.
It can make quick use of this and lay some actionable information into your lap on, hey, where should I set my sights, right? Is this a growing, scaling company industry? And if it is, if this is where the money's going, there's going to be need for talent there. What better, insight to have, right, on what it is you're targeting. I just think it's really helpful, right?
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, no, I think the last thing I wanted to hit on a little bit, and then we can cut this one a little short today. Jen and I got to head out here in a little bit, but cleaning lady's coming, so we're getting out of the house.
Hey, household and daily chores, right? That's it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's something I outsource.
Well, listen, I had to find some time yesterday, right? I mean, it got cold this week, right? No kidding. For those of us in the Hampton Roads area, man, we had a little bit of snow on Monday morning. I woke up and, one of my side hustle, one of my kind of fun things is I have honeybees outside, right? Hello, Tom. Good to see you, sir.
Glad you made it back from Ireland.
We love the Ireland talk. So, but I had to go out and I hadn't insulated them, right? I typically wrap these boxes up and give them a little bit of insulation, but dude, it got really cold. And insulated them, but I had to take care of that. So lots of chores for us to do in daily life, right? That's what we do.
No, I'm just going to show you this. My sister was in England. That's why I was in Ohio. I was house sitting, and she got me a hat. So maybe, I don't know if Tom's got one of these, but
hey, Tom, look at that. I bet you Tom's got one of those.
Never had one of these.
Got one of those
gangster hats.
Yeah, little gangster hat there.
Or But no, cool. Well, the last thing, I wanted to hit on is something we've been discussing for a
Yeah.
long time, and I'm just going to finally, launch it now because I've
Okay.
in some chats with some other people as well to help us support this idea. But just generally, the other thing that we know military retirees, small business owners, veteran entrepreneurs that are actively networking, doing it one-on-one all the time is harder. So if we can
Yeah.
get together as a group, share some lesson learned, quick introductions, some practice, get some reps in, so to
Yeah.
speak, especially if you're, haven't entered this environment. I've been on dozens of these different types of networking calls, and they're just Zoom calls, just doing a group session.
Yep.
And so, as we've been having more and more listeners of the podcast, obviously there's the Blue Water Network, there's the US VetWealth clients, and there's, others out there that, maybe looking to join a group once a month just to chat a little bit, or, join one time and get something out of it, meet somebody, and then have more follow-on conversation for that. So,
Yeah.
um, I just always wanted to set something like that up and make it available to anybody who finds himself resonating with the stuff that we talk about, and to some extent the retirees that have already gotten out and gone more independent, maybe become consultants
Hmm.
and or realtors. They're more reason to stay tapped in,
Yeah.
and for those that are already out and like to share their lessons learned and want to stay
Well, it's
connected,
a it's
for that
it's a
reason.
great. I love that you're bringing the virtual, on online here. That
Yeah.
networking. It would be a great addition to. We try to do one in-person quarterly networking event. For us, it's hard to do them in multiple locations. We've probably got a big enough footprint to start doing those in DC.
Oh yeah.
But we've been primarily doing them down here in the Hampton Roads area. And I realize that not all of our members that are spread now in other locations can come and enjoy a beer on us and in a good networking environment, right? But it's a start for us, and we'll try to do those more frequently, right, in other locations. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I look forward to it. And what did you say? It was December 10th. I just saw the
Yeah, I'm gonna do it December 10th. No expectation. It's
yeah,
it's schedule dependent type
sure,
thing.
throw it out.
But I just want to get it off the ground to kick it off for 2026 because I've had a lot of interest over the years, especially this last year as I've been chatting with people about this idea.
Love it.
So it's just a matter of getting it on the calendar and then kind of figuring out as we go. Do we want to do LinkedIn training sessions? Here's how to use Chat GPT. We could do that kind of stuff. Maybe have
Yeah.
guest speakers come in, share their insights. So we're open to ideas.
Hey, we should get
But I
Ryan that we were talking about, get
Yeah,
him to come aboard. He would be a good speaker, right? So,
exactly.
hey, just before I
But
go, just let me summarize to all the listeners out there, right? I get it. It's hard times right now, but the rules of the road as you navigate to your next success haven't changed. Great use of AI tools. Do your homework. Understand what companies are growing, scaling, who are the big winners in the government contracting awards out there. Follow the money, right? Narrow your target set down. That's where opportunity is going to be, right? As a lot of companies are tightening their belt and letting people go, there will be other companies that have the money that are going to continue to grow and scale. You just have to find them, right? And once you find it, those are good target sets for you. And then network, right?
yeah.
It's the rules of the road haven't changed.
So if you want to join us for that networking event on the 10th, I'm
Yeah,
posting the link. I'll set up a separate LinkedIn event. Just let me figure out how to. But anyways, I posted it in the description on the YouTube. You can
great.
message me. I can send it to you. I'll also put it here in the comments
I look forward
on
to it. It's going to be
LinkedIn.
fun. It'll be another good event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So it'd be in some ways just an extension of what we're doing here, but just more people
Yeah,
and allow people to kind of introduce themselves and see who else is out there. But all right, well
I
that's
love it.
all I got for now, Mike.
Well, thank you,
Thanks.
sir.
And
Always a pleasure to catch up.
it's
Right?
not Thanksgiving next week, is it already? Right?
We're a couple weeks out, I think. Right?
Right. This
We've
is
got,
just getting weird how fast
I
everything's
know
gone.
the year's going. Right? The year is going. So
But
make good use of it. Don't delay. And again, for members that are looking to join us for our cohort, our 2026 schedule, listen, you guys, it's already filling up, right? I was talking to Steve Weeman yesterday. We've got guys registering for our events all the way out through summer of next year.
yeah.
And in fact, the first quarter and into the second quarter, we're filling quickly.
And that's another reason to come to the virtual networking groups,
Yeah.
because it's a way to, get
be a
some
part of it.
connection,
Yeah.
with like-minded individuals. That's the idea, is not just to be yet another. I mean, there's lots of veteran networking groups out there, and they're all great. I suggest going to all of them, but we think we kind of have more of a tailored audience, and people can share more similar experiences and get insights that way. But
We agree.
all righty, man.
All right, brother. Well, listen, you be well. Stay warm.
Take care.
All right. Cheers.